first of all, you have such a unique view into the trends employers are seeing, workers are seeing across the spectrum. What are you seeing mid to, and dare I say, post-pandemic in terms of who's losing their jobs, who's able to keep their jobs, and who wants to change their job?
It is a fascinating landscape right now, one full of real opportunity, right, for American workers. I mean, there is more influence by the employee than the employer than we've seen in most of the last 15 years, but it's devastating for a number of populations. I think women are a really interesting example. Obviously, last week's job gains look fantastic on paper, but when you think about the fact that 2 million women left the workforce over the last year, we're only inching our way back to baseline. We need 5 more months of last month's recovery to even get back to pre-COVID. So really depends where you look and how you analyze the data.
Right. I'm really worried about women backsliding in the pandemic and not making up for what we lost just in the last 18 months. You work with companies like Walmart, Disney, Chipotle to help upskill their workers. What are these companies asking for? What are these workers asking for? And what do they need?
Yeah, so the future of work has arrived. It's here. It's no longer in the future. Companies have been preparing for that for quite a while, but workers are realizing it today and in a very present and urgent way. We are seeing actually a fair amount of alignment as a result. There are employers saying, hey, this job, the cashier, right? America has 3 million cashiers today. Most companies are going cashierless in the next 5 to 10 years. But what are we going to do with those cashiers? Some companies might lay them off, but many are saying, how might we reskill that population and make them prepared for the next job, whether that's working in the pharmacy as a pharmacy technician or moving into a clinical role where the customer service that makes you a great cashier could actually give you a great bedside manner. It's that you just don't yet have the technical skills to, say, draw blood or be a clinical technician. And so thinking about how do you help folks in the $10 to $15 an hour wage move into $15 to $20 and then $20 to $25 roles, it is really interesting because it aligns the desire of the employee who's looking for what's next for them with what employers need, which is to prepare their workforce for the workforce of tomorrow.
You found that 26% of workers plan to look for a different job post-pandemic. Why is that? Does it have something to do with the flexibility that employers are or not giving employees?
I think it comes down to nearly everyone spent time in their house last year thinking what they wanted out of life. And what we're finding is that employees, especially in a world today where wages and healthcare are now quite commoditized, right? $15 an hour is really becoming the floor, and therefore it's becoming quite ubiquitous as a narrow wage band. And healthcare is now rightfully becoming more of a right than a privilege. What that means is workers are then saying, okay, how do I differentiate between the company I want to work for? And the number one thing we're seeing is that millennials, Gen Z, but even boomers want to work at a company that provides career development. Now, that doesn't mean they're promising you a job in the future, but it means how are you giving me the opportunity to develop skills so that I'm capable of the next job? Because I'm pretty sure today's job isn't going to stay the same for 10 years from now, the way it did for my dad. And that's what workers are asking for. And so we're seeing that the companies that are offering education and upskilling are the ones that are winning today's war for talent, and they're pulling people from one company to the next.
Now, you're doing some interesting things at your own company in order to, focus on retention, giving equity to all employees. You recently raised money at a $3.75 billion valuation, which is huge. And you also have a unique view on the wealth tax, which I find interesting given that, obviously if Guild ends up being incredibly successful, you will be very wealthy. I'd love for you to share some of that with us and how other companies might be able to learn from that and work some of these ideas into their retention and benefits policies.
Yeah, I'm happy to talk about it, though, as you know, I haven't talked about this much until just last week, and this will be the first time I guess I ever talk about it live. I believe I stand on the shoulders of privilege and giants. I don't believe I'm self-made. I'm lucky and privileged to be where I am. And I think it's unfair that I pay a lower tax rate than a lot of my employees, and certainly than a lot of the 4 million Americans who have access to Guild through their companies as frontline workers. I just don't think it's right. And so I feel grateful. I believe in capitalism, but I believe that it's probably time we start thinking about how to make sure that capitalism operates with the privilege of democracy rather than democracy being dictated by capitalism. And so, grateful to have made more money than I ever anticipated in my life, but really, really focused on making sure we build more companies that solve problems and continue to use capitalism as a tool for innovation rather than a tool just for wealth capture.